On July 1, 2026, the Indian government rolled out the VBG-RAM-G scheme, officially retiring the two-decade-old MGNREGA system. The mechanics of this new policy are straightforward. Any rural household that requests manual labor receives a firm legal guarantee of 125 paid workdays every single financial year. The goal is to weave a reliable safety net into village life. Instead of waiting for seasonal farm work or migrating to crowded cities, they rely on local, structured employment that builds long-lasting rural infrastructure. On paper, you have a highly efficient, self-sustaining machine for rural development. But when you try to implement it on the ground, local officials crash into a brutal mathematical reality. Put yourself in the shoes of a local district administrator. A severe summer drought hits your region. Thousands of families are out of work, crop yields have collapsed, and the demand for guaranteed jobs skyrockets. But your budget is strictly capped. Humanitarian pressure demands stretching limited funds to create maximum workdays, keeping families fed. Simultaneously, the center mandates constructing high-quality, durable assets. Legally, you must ensure every worker receives wages in their account within a strict 15-day window. Because your funds are finite, optimizing for any two of these priorities automatically causes the third to fail. You can pay everyone quickly for cheap labor, or build a great asset slowly. You cannot do all three. To understand how the government is trying to solve this trap, we have to look at the money. For the 2026 to 2027 period, the center established an interim allocation of about 95,692 crore rupees. We can see exactly how this financial burden is shared in this breakdown of a single rupee. The graphic splits the funding into a strict ratio. The central government covers 60% of the costs, while the state governments are on the hook for the remaining 40%. The center also introduced a mechanism called normative allocation. Instead of states writing blank checks based on whatever demand they report, the center pre-calculates the funding using objective parameters. This shifts the entire scheme from a decentralized system that simply reacts to local demand into a highly structured, budget-guided mission. To meet that strict 15-day wage deadline under this new budget, the scheme relies heavily on digital enforcement. Workers receive their pay through mandatory Aadhaar-linked payments, a biometric system designed to bypass local corruption and put cash directly into hands. By combining fixed funding limits with direct digital tracking, the policy mathematically corners local officials into prioritizing administrative efficiency. These financial rules are built on a specific internal logic, but that logic rarely survives contact with the friction of human survival and political greed. Almost immediately, the system faces pushback from state governments. Many are actively resisting the requirement to suddenly pay 40% of a massive rural welfare program from their own treasuries. Down at the village level, local politicians face intense incentives to favor highly visible, short-term handouts. Handing out quick cash wins votes much faster than spending months planning and maintaining a long-term water conservation project. The laborers and local leaders often game the system as well. When families are desperate, they organize to secure their daily wages as quickly as possible, avoiding the harder work of demanding genuine skill building or holding contractors accountable. Fixing a national jobs program requires overriding the deeply ingrained survival instincts of millions of people, a task that persists long after the ink on the new rules has dried. When you zoom out, the VB-GRAM-G scheme acts as a massive, real-time stress test for the concept of cooperative federalism in India. The central and state governments are locked in a continuous, high-stakes negotiation, battling over exactly who controls the budget and who takes the blame for poor execution. All of this complex power sharing serves a single, overarching political and economic mandate. The central government is using this jobs program to aggressively drive its Viksit Bharat vision, attempting to transition thousands of villages from basic survival mode into fully sustainable economies. Which brings us right back to our local district administrator. Their daily, ground-level choices regarding workdays, asset quality, and payment speed determine the actual physical success of the center's push for administrative control. Governance relies on aligning human incentives so precisely that the basic right to work naturally builds the permanent foundation of a modern rural India.